Now let's see. 3/4 of the people in the village. Okay, what now comes after 3/4? What now comes after immediately after 3/4? Okay, see, we have two nouns. So we have people, we have village. Hello everybody, welcome to today's class. Today we're going to learn percentage and fraction concord. Percentage and fraction concord. This is very important because a lot of questions have been asked on it in the past questions. Let's see. Percentages and fraction concord. Now, you know there are some sentences that start with percentages. There's a rule, there's a concord rule that you have to obey while making such statements and while answering questions on such sentences in the section on completion of sentences, and those sentences that start with percentages like 10%, 20%, 50%, etc. Okay, now there is a rule, there's a concord rule you have to obey while answering such questions. There are so many concord rules, but we're just talking about this one because it's less popular and questions are usually being asked on it in the exams, especially JAMB UTME past questions. Okay, I've seen a lot of it in JAMB UTME past questions, so that's why I was talking about it. Percentages concord and fraction concord. Now, when you have a fraction as a subject of a sentence, when you have a fraction as the subject of a sentence, you already know what the subject of a sentence is. I want to believe that. When you have a fraction as the subject of a sentence, now your attention should be on the noun that comes after the fraction. When you have a fraction or a percentage as a subject of a sentence, your attention should be on the noun that comes after the percentage or the fraction. Okay, now let's say for example half of the class is absent today. Okay, now half is a fraction, right? Half is a fraction. Half of the class is absent today. Half is a fraction. So we have class. Class is a noun. Half of the class. Class is a noun. So your attention should be on the noun class that is after the fraction half. Because the noun class is singular, the verb that is in the sentence should also be singular. Okay, because class, the noun that comes after the fraction is singular. Half of the class is absent. Okay, class is singular, so is singular as well. Okay, half of the students are absent today. Now we have students coming after half. Okay, we have students coming after half. Now students here is plural, so I have to use a plural verb in the sentence. Half of the students are absent today. So your attention should be on the noun that comes after the fraction or the percentage. Now let's see percentage. 50% of the land has been developed. 50% of the land has been developed. Okay, now when you have this statement, what's the noun that comes after the percentage? Land, right? Land, is it singular or plural? Is singular. Okay, so we have to use a singular verb in the sentence. 50% of the land has a singular, has been developed. Okay, 50% of schools in Nigeria are owned by the government. 50% of schools in Nigeria are owned by the government. Okay, 50%. 50% is a percentage, right? Now, after 50%, what do we have? We have schools. Schools, singular or plural? Plural, right? So that means we should use a plural verb in the sentence. 50% of schools in Nigeria are plural. Okay, plural of is are plural, are owned by the government. So that's how to answer such questions. When you have fractions, we have percentages as the subject of a sentence, okay, or as the subject of the clause. You're going to make sure that the verb that is in the sentence or the clause agrees with the noun that comes after the percentage or fraction. Okay, so that's how to answer questions on percentages and fraction concord. Okay, percentages and fraction concord. Any question that you see in your exams that starts with or has its subject as a percentage or a fraction, just obey this rule. Look at the noun that is after the fraction or the percentage, and make sure that the verb agrees in quantity with the noun that is after the percentage or fraction. I believe that is clear now. So it's time for us to answer some questions on these from the past questions. Now let's see this question from the past questions, JAMB past questions. 3/4 of the people in the village dash killed, but only 50% of their herds dash affected. 3/4 of the people in the village dash killed, but only 50% of their herds dash affected. Which one is correct? We have was, where, C, where, was, where, okay? Was, where. Which one is correct? Was, where, was, where. Which one is correct? Okay, which of these will fill the gaps accurately? Okay, now let's see. 3/4 of the people in the village, okay? What now comes after 3/4? What now comes after, immediately after 3/4? Okay, see, we have two nouns. So we have people, we have village. So you're going to choose the one, you're going to look at the one that comes immediately after the fraction. Okay, now people. People is the one that comes after the fraction. So you're going to choose, you're going to focus on people. People now, is it singular or plural? People is plural. Okay, so you're going to make sure that any verb that will be here will be plural as well. Okay, the verb here should be plural. So let's see, let's look at the options and strike off anyone that does not have a plural verb. Okay, that does not have a plural verb in the first position. So what we're going to do is to look at the options and strike off anyone that does not contain a plural verb in the first gap. So you're going to have, you're going to strike off this option. Option A, was. Okay, option B, okay, plural verb first. Option C, plural verb first. Option D, was, singular. So we are left with options B and D. Now, in the village dash killed, but only 50% percentage, okay, 50% of their hearts dash affected, okay, 50% of their hearts, singular or plural? Plural, okay, plural. 50% of their hearts, plural. Hearts is plural. So we are going to choose a plural verb here, okay. Plural verb is going to fill this gap. So let's see, where, was, no. So option C is the correct answer, okay. 3/4 of the people in the village were killed, but only 50% of their herds were affected. So option C is the correct answer. Okay, so all you have to do is just to look at the noun, the first noun. If there are multiple nouns that come after the fraction or the percentage, the first noun that comes after the fraction or percentage is what you should focus on. Okay, if you singular, make sure that the verb in the sentence or the first clause, in like this example has two gaps. So the first gap and the second gap. So your attention should be on the noun that comes immediately after the percentage or fraction. If it's plural, verb should be plural. If it's singular, verb should be singular. Okay, so that is it. That's all about percentage and fraction concord. Thank you very much for learning with me. I will see you again in my next video. Thank you and bye.